What is up? You know, when you hear that monster beat it, it's time for the Stardom Stidham Show. It's me, your man MG Marcus Grant, joined by Michael F. Florio, and out there in the ether, it's the specialist, the cast of dozens. There it is. They're the air horns. Cast of dozens that help us put on this show each and every week. Florio, it is week 7, and there are some notable players, notable teams on a bye this week. So I would imagine for you, made it a little bit tougher to put some start-sit names together.
Yeah, it definitely did. When I sent the names over on like Monday night, Tuesday morning, I was like, hey, these names are a little deeper than normal because we got a lot of quality players on bye this week, injuries, and not some good matchups, but, not the best week of fantasy this week.
It's not so much that there's a quantity of teams on bye, just 4, but it's the quality. We've got the Bills, the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Rams. So you've got 4 quarterbacks of note. You've got a slew of wide receivers that are not going to be available. But we will do our best to make some sense of it. We will have our starts and sits, players that deserve more hype. We'll also have some of our biggest question marks for the week. But you may be noticing, if you are watching our video stream, that both Florio and I are wearing purple today. That's because it is Spirit Day. So all across NFL Network, you will see talent wearing purple today. By pledging to go purple, all of us are demonstrating solidarity with the LGBTQ plus community while taking a stand against bullying. For more information about Spirit Day and to find out more about how you can show your support, please go to glad.org/Spirit Day. That's GLAAD.org/Spirit Day. Okay, let's get into some of the starts and sits. We'll start at quarterback. Of course, you can see all of these at NFL.com/start-sit. But Florio, who is on your list from the QB spot this week?
Tua Tagovailoa is back, and I think he should be back in your starting lineup. Same thing for Dak Prescott. I have Aaron Rodgers as a start in a good matchup for the first time all year. He's been a sit a couple of times. And then Matt Ryan in a good matchup is my favorite streaming option this week. Some sits, Jared Goff in a tough matchup against the Cowboys. Russell Wilson in a low-key tough matchup against the Jets. Plus, how can you trust Russ at this point right now? Justin Fields in a tough matchup. And then Marcus Mariota, one that gives me a little pause because I know the rushing upside, but if he doesn't get you a rushing touchdown, you could be looking at a low floor.
You mentioned Russ, too. Something of note, reports coming out earlier on Thursday morning that Brett Rippon was getting a lot of the reps during the team walkthrough. Russ dealing with a hamstring injury that has him day to day, so already playing poorly. Now maybe less than 100%. That's even more reason to probably get away from him in week 7. Let's go back, though, to Dak Prescott, because that's one of the big storylines of the week. With Dak, we have not seen since week 1 when he injured that thumb in the loss to Tampa Bay. And, Florio, if there's ever a week for him to come back, it's maybe this incredibly juicy matchup against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, if Dak is back for the Cowboys, I think he should be back in starting lineups this week. We know that Dak brings a safe floor, but he also brings a high ceiling, and I think we could even get more rushing this year because he is just further removed from that leg injury that really limited that rushing ability last season. And like you said, Marcus, the matchup doesn't get any better. The Lions allow a ton of fantasy points to every position, especially the quarterback position, where they allow the second most fantasy points this season to that position. Plus, that quarterback controversy went away real quick. I'm very excited to have Dak back.
It's good news for CeeDee Lamb. It's good news for Michael Gallup. And if Dalton Schultz can get healthy and back on the field, it's probably good news for him. Cooper Rush not looking his way at all the last couple of weeks. Another quarterback who is returning from injury, Tua Tagovailoa, who missed a couple of games while he was in concussion protocol. And this week he has the Steelers. Now, they've been sort of hard to figure. A couple weeks ago, they get thumped by the Bills. Last week, they get a surprise win against the Buccaneers, but you like Tua against them on Sunday night.
Yeah, I am excited for Tua being back as well. Part of this is just the Steelers have struggled against the pass. They've allowed over 21 fantasy points in the last month. That's the 6th most in that span. But this is because of the wide receivers as well. Like Tyreek Hill, I think, is the best receiver in football. I think him and Jalen Waddle are the best duo. And we saw how explosive they can be, even with the second and third string quarterback. But those guys didn't throw the deep ball like Tua did. And I know all you haters coming into the year said he couldn't throw it. He leads the NFL right now in yards per attempt. And the Steelers have allowed the most production to wide receivers. So I think these receivers eat. And naturally, I think that means Tua has a really big game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that vertical element is what I think gives that passing game a little extra kick. It was great seeing Waddle and Hill out in space, but now knowing they can stretch the field, certainly very exciting. Since we're talking about those wide receivers, let's look at your wide receivers as a whole for week 7. Who is up and who is down?
Amari Cooper, who's been playing really good ball. He has a good matchup. He is in play this week. And moving forward, I would say Alan Lazard in a good matchup. Alec Pierce, I'm still trusting the rookie in a very good matchup this week. And George Pickens, I know he let down a little bit last week, but it's a good matchup. We're hearing Chase Claypool trade rumors. I would trust him there. And some sits, Robert Woods and what is a tough matchup on paper. Jerry Jeudy, because again, I don't see how you trust the Broncos right now. Jacoby Myers and what I think could be a run fest. And then Drake London, which hurts me to say, but they're just not throwing the ball much in Atlanta right now.
Let's talk about Alan Lazard because the Packers wide receivers have been a fairly tough bunch to figure. I like Romeo Doubs as a sleeper this week for Green Bay, but Lazard really has very quietly put together a pretty steady season.
Yeah, he's been playing good ball as of late. He's played 5 games this year. He's topped 13 fantasy points in 4 of them. It doesn't hurt that he has the touchdown in all 4 of those games, as he's clearly a weapon that Rodgers looks for in the red zone. He also leads Green Bay with a 20% target share, 39% air yard share. And then the Commanders have given up 40 fantasy points per game to receivers. That's the 6th most in the NFL. It's also the first time in the Matt LaFleur era that the Packers have lost back-to-back games in the same season. So narrative, if you buy into it, maybe we get angry Aaron Rodgers, which can only help his pass catchers. And I think Romeo Doubs is a sleeper as well this week, Marcus. I know you like him as well.
I do like Romeo Doubs as a sleeper. And look, angry Aaron Rodgers, motivated Aaron Rodgers, just Aaron Rodgers who can throw 2 or 3 touchdown passes in a game. I don't care how it shows up. I just want it to show up, especially because I'm starting Doubs in a couple of places. On the other side, Jerry Jeudy, you've got as a sit. And really, beyond Cortland Sutton, it's been hard to trust any Broncos pass catchers. But Florio, this week, if we have Russ either at less than 100% or not at all, it just seems like I'm out on any Denver pass catchers.
Yeah, and the Jets secondary led by Sauce Gardner, they've been playing great football this year. So he could easily get taken out because of the cornerback matchup. The Russ being hurt thing doesn't help. And the fact that he was the Broncos' leading receiver last week and he had 3 catches for 54 yards, that's concerning. And he has now scored single-digit fantasy points 4 times in his last 5 games. There's no floor. I don't think the ceiling is nearly as high as we thought it would be from this offense. So I know we had high hopes for Sutton and Jeudy and Russ and this whole entire offense, but we have to readjust. We've seen it for 6 weeks now, and after 6 weeks, sit many of your Broncos is the answer.
So between the issues in the passing game and now potentially a 3-headed muddled mess in the backfield, I just may be all the way out on Denver offensive players. Their defense is very good. The offense, not good at all. That gets us to this week's edition of How We Feeling, where we sort of rapid fire through a list of players and let you know, well, how we're feeling about them. So let's start with Tom Brady coming off a not so great game against the Steelers and having pretty much a lackluster season. How are we feeling about him at Carolina?
I'm definitely worried about the Pharaoh for the course of the full season. But this week, I think he's in play. I think just the Panthers are not a matchup that scares me. I think the offensive line has been the issues for Brady's woes right now. But I just think this matchup, the Panthers don't get a ton of pressure on the quarterback. So I think Brady will be okay this week.
Been on the sidelines screaming at guys 20 years younger than him. I'm going with another quarterback, and that is Justin Herbert. I haven't been very excited about the Chargers passing game. It has become sort of a shorter passing game. Herbert averaging almost 1 full air yard less per attempt this year versus last year, but he's playing the Seahawks. And so if there's anything that can sort of cure what ails you, it could be that Seahawks defense. Now we'll wait to see what happens with Keenan Allen. There's still enough weapons there, whether it's Gerald Everett, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, that I think Justin Herbert can bounce back and have a nice week against Seattle. Najee Harris has been on the struggle bus so far this year. Does he get off of it against the Dolphins?
I'm not sure. I think Najee Harris right now is just a volume-dependent RB2 and not one that you have to play every single week. We haven't seen the same explosiveness from him on the ground. He's being less utilized in the passing game. There's a lot of cause for concern right now for Najee Harris.
Najee Harris has been one of the bigger disappointments in fantasy this year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been one of the bigger surprises in fantasy this year. And I will tell you this, I like him against San Francisco, partially because the game script is going to be very much in his favor this week. The 49ers just completely beat up on the defensive side of the football. We saw it last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and CEH getting a lot of opportunity. I know he's splitting time back there with Jerick McKinnon and the like, but I still think he gets some opportunity, especially if the Chiefs have a lead in the second half. It's certainly very plausible he gets some of those rushing opportunities. The Lions back in action, which means Amon-Ra St. Brown back in action against a tough Cowboys defense. How are we feeling about him?
If Amon-Ra St. Brown plays for the Lions, I'm playing him in fantasy. I know last week, or the last time we saw him, he was on a snap count. He really didn't have the day we wanted, but we knew that he was going to be limited. When we've seen him not limited this year, he's done nothing but go off, having the bye week to rest up and heal. I expect him to be healthy, and even in a tough matchup, I just think he's so good, Marcus, that you play him every week.
Definitely think he's worth playing every week. I also think Brandon Cooks is worth playing every week, even though the Houston offense has been spotty at best. But it's an opportunity for him to get a lot of targets. I think this could be a positive game script in terms of Houston having to throw the football a lot, and the Raiders certainly will give up some opportunities to wide receivers. So with not much else to talk about in the passing game for the Houston Texans, I think you're starting Brandon Cooks this week. T. Higgins, some argue that he might be the best receiver in Cincinnati. I'm not sure about that, but he's still pretty good, and he's got a good matchup, Florio.
Yeah, I think T. Higgins is a must start this week. And I know some people were concerned after week 5 when he only played 16% of the snaps, didn't have a target. He was banged up and limited that game and was clearly playing like a decoy role or something. Bounced back last week, 9 targets, 6 catches, 47 yards. I know that's not a huge game, but that's a safe floor that he shows, and we know that he has much, much higher upside than that.
We'll close this out with TJ Hawkinson taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't love the matchup, but I do love the potential opportunity because I would expect Dallas is going to have a lead. I think they can score points against Detroit. That means the Lions are going to have to throw the football to keep up. Plus, look, man, you've seen the list of tight ends. You've seen the tight end waiver wire. It is ugly out there. So if you got TJ Hawkinson, you're playing him because I can't imagine you have a lot of other choices that make you feel a whole lot better. So that's how we're feeling about those guys. Figure out how we feel about a break. Let's talk about Kyle Pitts when we come back. He scored last week, but does that mean you can trust him going forward? I mean, he had Michael Florio ripping off his shirt on Fantasy Live. Find out what we think about it next when we go to Florio's tight end starts and sits on the Start 'em Sit 'em Show. Start sit tight ends for week 7. Mike, who you got?
Kyle Pitts, I mean, was there ever a doubt? Gerald Everett in a good matchup against Seattle, Evan Ingram in a revenge game, and Hunter Henry, who's been playing better ball as of late. Mike Gesicki is a sit for me, even though he was the tight end 1 last week. Logan Thomas, if he suits up, I would not be trusting him. Daniel Bellinger in a tough matchup, and Jelani Woods, because guessing which Colts tight end might score a touchdown is a terrible game that you do not want to play.
Yeah, I thought about putting Jelani Woods in my sleepers column this week, and I'm like, is it him? Or is it Kylan Granson? Or is it Mo Alie-Cox? I'm like, you know what? Just screw it. I'm not putting any of them in there. Like, I'm not willing to plant the flag anywhere. But you have planted the flag with Kyle Pitts, and it took forever, but he finally scored a touchdown on American soil. So does this mean we can expect an encore this week?
I hope so. I mean, I celebrated when he scored that touchdown as if I was the one who had just celebrated that touchdown. And I know if you might be like, oh, well, you said to sit Drake London because they're not throwing the ball much in Atlanta. And that is true. But the difference is Kyle Pitts is a tight end and not a receiver. And there's just much, much less options. And even I'll admit, Kyle Pitts is not going to live up to my pre-draft expectation, but that doesn't mean he just becomes a sit. He still is a very talented tight end that has a lot of breakout upside. He has a lot of physical talent there, and this is a good matchup. The Bengals have allowed 14 fantasy points per game to tight ends. That's just outside the top 10 this year, and I'm hoping that, if Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and that offense do their thing, the Atlanta Falcons will actually have to throw the ball more, which I think means more volume for Kyle Pitts.
Mike Gesicki, you mentioned, was the tight end 1 last week. Gesicki, 6 catches for 69 yards and a couple of touchdowns. This feels like how Mike Gesicki just sucks you in, right? You look and you see, oh, he had a big game last week, and he had a 14-point game earlier in the season. Maybe I'll give him a try, and then you get ghosted. So this is your warning, I'm assuming, to not get ghosted.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, Mike Gesicki is that friend that you go out with or whatever. You meet someone, you're like, you make all the plans in the world, and then like the next day you sober up and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna talk to this person again. That's Mike Gesicki. He scored 25 fantasy points last week, was the top scoring tight end. Marcus, you mentioned he had a big game earlier this year. Yeah, he scored less than 5 fantasy points the week after. He's done that in 4 games this year already. He will have some big games, but good luck guessing when they occur, and I do not think this is a week for that. The Steelers have held tight ends in check this year, but they've struggled mightily against receivers, so I think this is a Waddle and Hill game, and Gesicki, he's not going to get you 2 touchdowns every week. If he doesn't score, you're probably looking at under 5 fantasy points.
You know what? I will sacrifice Mike Gesicki points if it means I don't have to see him try to do the gritty ever again. I think I'm okay with that. It's time now for Finger Looking Good start of the week presented by KFC. Some guys that deserve a little bit more hype and probably should be must starts in a lot of lineups this week. So get us started. Who do you have on your list?
Travis Etienne, I think, is a running back that needs to be started. The last 3 weeks, he has played more snaps than James Robinson. He is getting almost all of the passing work in this offense. And then he's been splitting carries. Like, James Robinson is between 8 and 12 every game, because Travis Etienne is sitting there getting about 8 to 12 every game the last 3 weeks as well. And he is the much more explosive option as well. So on those touches you see here, he has the capability of really breaking out for long plays, and that's how you can pick up fantasy points in chunks.
I got another young running back, and that's Kenneth Walker, who we saw really get going last week for the Seahawks against the Arizona Cardinals. Looked absolutely incredible. I expect him to get a ton of work because we've seen the Seahawks being pretty much a one-back team so far this season. Very good matchup against the Chargers, who have been giving up a ton of fantasy points to the running back position. The only concern might be if the Chargers get a lead and force the Seahawks to throw the football. But other than that, I would not worry. Kenneth Walker is a for sure go. You also have a guy, though, Mike, on the other side of that same game.
Yeah, Mikey Dubs. I think he's still in play. Mike Williams, after, I know he had a down game last week, 6 targets, 2 catches, 17 yards. He could have had a bigger game because I think he got his toes in on that amazing sideline catch that would have been a big play for him. But before last week, in a very tough matchup where he had Surtain on the other side of him, he had over 120 yards in the 2 games before that, and in the 2 games before that, he scored a touchdown in each, and he's topped 110 of 3 of those 4 games. So I think Mike Williams remains a must start, and he has a great matchup too.
Would love to see BMW getting ready to roll. I will follow up with Matt Ryan. Matty Ice looked like the old Matty Ice this past week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and has an excellent matchup against the Titans, who have given up a ton of passing yards so far this season. It definitely helps that Alec Pierce has emerged and has given him another option to go to in the passing game. The Titans do not force a lot of turnovers, are getting just sort of mild pressure. So it looks like we could see a situation where Matt Ryan sort of backs up good fantasy football games, I guess real football games as well, though that's less of a concern for us here on this show. Time for another break. When we come back, does Dak's return make Zeke a must start on Sunday? We'll let you know that next when Florio gives us his likes and dislikes at the running back position. Plus, Club Dub is coming open. Pop your collars, get your Axe body spray ready. We're going to let you know who's getting in the club next on the Stardom Sitter Show. Running back starts and sits for the week. Please take us who's on your list.
Ramondre Stevenson, after a monster game last week's in play. I know you like Kenneth Walker. I like Kenneth Walker as well in this great matchup. Think he's in play. Zeke Elliott has a good matchup himself. And then this one's a little deeper, but I'm going to trust Kenyon Drake if you need a streaming option this week in a good matchup against the Browns. And then some sits. While I'm starting Travis Etienne, I'm sitting James Robinson. I'm also sitting Kareem Hunt, who just hasn't been the same this season. Melvin Gordon is a sit because, again, Broncos. And then Tyler Algier, because I know he had a lot of work last week, but they're splitting reps in Atlanta, and I think this is a game where they could be chasing, so less running from them.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott is on the good foot. He's had a couple of nice games back-to-back. Doesn't really get involved in the passing game, but is running it effectively. And look, we like all the Cowboys this week, but we especially like Ezekiel Elliott in what should be a pretty, I think, profitable game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I wrote about Zeke this week, and I said I could finally include him as a start because he's no longer just too obvious, because for years he was a must-start guy. And I know it's been a slow go out the gate for Zeke, but he has been running well, like you said, Marcus. It's just he hasn't been used a lot in the passing game. I think this could be a week, though, where one, maybe he gets more dump offs because Dak is back, and we know that those two are best friends and have a really good connection. But mainly it's because of the matchup. Like, the Lions have allowed almost 30 fantasy points to running backs, which is the third most in the NFL. And if you're not starting Ezekiel Elliott in this great matchup against the Lions, when are you?
I don't know. This seems like the perfect opportunity to plug Zeke in and get ready to roll with a great matchup here. We talked about the Broncos in that passing game. Russ Wilson is banged up. You were down on Jerry Jeudy. And now the backfield is a complete mess with Latavius Murray working in there. The matchup against the Jets is not particularly good. This feels like an easy call to sit Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, when you have three running backs, and that's what Nathaniel Hackett said. He said, Melvin Gordon's going to start, but we need all three of these running backs. That means you don't have a running back. And I'll be honest, I am completely unsure of what's going on in Denver. Like, you use Melvin Gordon enough when you have Javonte Williams. They're almost splitting reps. And then you lose Javonte Williams, and you're like, let's get this practice squad running back and use him over Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon played just 15% of the snaps last week, so I'm not dropping him or anything like that. But until he shows us that we could trust him, I don't think you could start him.
Yeah, the Broncos offense has been one of the bigger disappointments of the season, and I thought Melvin Gordon could have some value. It seems to have plummeted the last few weeks. Even Melvin Gordon isn't sure what's going on with Melvin Gordon. All right, get your silk shirts ready, get your chains ready, get your money guns ready. It's time for the Club Dub Players of the Week. The guys we guarantee will score you 25 or more fantasy points. Who is getting in behind the velvet ropes this week?
We're going up to Vegas. We know they have great clubs there. And the man getting me into the club this week, actually, it's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been going off. He's been an RB1 each week, and the last couple of weeks, he's top 30 fantasy points in 2 straight games. They're just running the ball a whole lot more. They're in Vegas. He's getting used in the passing game. They get like 5 targets a game. I just dropped my money gun. And then this matchup against the Texans, it's just the very best that it could be right now. They allow the most fantasy points, so I think we're going to see a lot of Josh Jacobs this week.
We talk about Zeke Elliott having a great matchup. Josh Jacobs has as good, maybe even a better matchup against the Houston Texans. For me, what's a guy who's been there? He's been in the club. He's got a first-name basis with the guys at the door. It's Saquon Barkley! The Saquon-assance has been in full effect so far this season for the New York Giants. I think that continues. I mean, look, we're not really sure how it is that the Giants are 5-1, but we do know that Saquon has a lot to do with it. I expect him to get plenty of opportunity against a Jaguar run defense that seemed tough at the beginning of the year, but has been shredded in recent weeks. Saquon is running it. Saquon is catching it. He's done everything, I think, except throw a touchdown and maybe sell popcorn at the Meadowlands. So I think that continues this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he is going to be inside on the dance floor at Club Dub. Hey, just a reminder that you can get fantasy goodness in your podcast feed. That's right. Let's throw up the dollar bills here. That you can get fantasy goodness in your podcast feed 5 days a week between this show, between the Fantasy Q&A show, between the NFL Fantasy Football show. You can find it in the NFL Fantasy app, the NFL channel, and youtube.com/NFL Fantasy Football. By the way, we also have Sunday Game Day, which streams in all those places, kicking off at noon Eastern, getting you ready for kickoff. In the meantime, that'll do it for this edition of the NFL Stardom Sid'em Show. He's Mike. I'm Marcus. Thanks to the specialist. Enjoy Week 7, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.